What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here, back with another video. I'm going to do something a little bit different that I haven't done in a while. Today we're going to be looking at a custom RC car, which I have not actually done in, like I said, quite some time. I believe the last time I actually did this was the 30th anniversary Gravedigger. So right in front of me we have obviously a 70s Charger, painted orange, that has wheel spikes on it, but we'll get to that in a minute. This is the I guess you could say Dominic Toretto Charger from Rostar. Really good RC manufacturer, and it does have actual working suspension on it, which will come into place later. So this is basically a newer version of a car that I did a while ago. It was inspired by the Dukes of Hazzard car, or the General Lee, with a Mad Max twist to it, which is what this is. This was actually designed originally in a video game that I did in Forza Horizon 3, 4, and 5. And soon to be 6. And then, I eventually did it in a 1/24th scale model kit, and that was fine. But then I got this at, I think, Target. It was originally a Dom Toretto Charger, and I heavily modified it to look more like, what the video game model was. And this does have a light up feature, actually two different ones. The headlights obviously are not too bright right now. Oh, there they go. So they're kind of working, kind of not working. The battery, coin cell battery that's in there is not the freshest one, but you can see that the shaker lights up, the headlights and turn signals light up, and the tail lights also light up via these two coin cell battery packs on the back. And all the, I guess, Dukes of Hazzardisms are there. You got the 01 on the side, you got the Rebel flag on the top, you got the General Lee prints on the side, but then everything else is supposed to be Mad Maxified. So you got the blower motor, you got the exposed engine compartment because the hood is off. This did have the grill guard on the front of it, but it never really worked on this particular car, so I ended up just taking it off and leaving it off. And it does have the turbine spoked rims. This actually, the spoiler from this is now actually on here. I did salvage some of the stuff on here because this is replacing this. This is going to be retired. I do like it still. It is a good thing, and I will have it as like a little fun memory of, hey, look at this is what I started off as, or what it looked like, and then this is what it was supposed to always look like. So everything is there, and this is relatively accurate to the video game model that I did in Forza, except in the Forza game it wasn't a 70s Charger, it was a 1969 Dodge Charger. Basically the same thing, except the front is a little bit different. So I took another one of these Rastar Chargers a long time ago and did standard General Lee. So essentially Dukes of Hazzard, Mad Maxified, essentially. So this has all the same stereo bits. It's got the turbine spoke rims, it's got the 01, it's got the flag, the General Lee logo, everything else. This did light up. I mean, it technically kind of still does if you turn the switch on. And it also used to make noise. But I did take the electronics that I added for the headlights and the tail lights on this one and put it into here, because I want this one to be kind of like the holy grail best RC car that I have ever really built, aside from the kit car, which I'm still working on, into this. That's what I wanted this to be. So I did remove the electronics out of the for the headlights and the tail lights and put them into this one. So this one has all those features, plus it also has a working sound box, versus this one had a working sound box, and I just simply switched those two pieces over between these two because they are identical. The only difference between this one and this one, stock, is this one was just a standard 70s charger versus this one was the Dominic Toretto style charger with the blower motor. Otherwise, everything else on them is exactly the same. Same shell, same screw molds, same interior. Pretty much everything between these two factory fresh stock is exactly the same except for the hoods, and the shaker and this screw on engine piece, obviously. So brand new, these two are almost the exact same thing. So let's go ahead and get that off screen and go back to this. Now, this is a little bit more advanced than the video game design. Now, the silver pieces that are on the side, I wanted to do it like this on the original one, originally, but I did not do it because I did not want to screw pieces into the body, and I did not want to spend hours drilling out each individual hole for each individual spike, because that's what these silver pieces are supposed to represent. The 1/24 scale car, I did do that, and I remember how much I hated it, so I did not do it when I built this particular car. But then when I went back in this one and I wanted it to be like the ultimate best, most perfect version of the Mad Max car as best as I could, I went ahead and said, you know what, screw it. Drill out freaking 40 holes, put in 40 or, freaking 20 different toothpick ends on each thing, paint each one of them silver, glue everything in place, and call it a day. So these are actually rather sharp because they're toothpicks, but that means that they are also very fragile. So this probably won't be driven often because my siblings and the baby that my mom watches loves these things. So I probably won't use this one often. I'll probably stick with the old car, or even this one, because this one does still work. It's just I'm just trying to retire this one for this, just so that way this one can be like the holy grail version of it. The grill guard I actually stole from the original car. As you can see, this part was modified specifically for this grill guard attachment, and instead of just simply transferring the faceplate from that one over to this one, I actually did modify this faceplate to fit that specific attachment piece, as well as the same thing on the front or on the rear end. You'll see that in just a little bit. So all that's left really on this is to just get the decals for the Dukes of Hazzard stuff on here, and then obviously add all the black weathering and stuff over it, all the bullet holes on the side, and all the black shit and burn marks and everything else along the rest of the car. Once all that stuff's done, this will be done and ready to go. I did go ahead and obviously remove the hood of the RC car, and then I added all these faux wires to it, so these don't actually do anything. They're literally just there for show. The windows have been spray painted in a translucent green spray paint tint, so if you actually can see, the windows and stuff do have a green tint to them because they are now spray painted in a translucent green, the very same paint that I used for the Boba Fett hologram for my custom 1/6 scale Ben 10. Then same thing for the back window, because these two are all one piece that connects over to the top of the roof. You can actually kind of see those pieces a little bit inside there, and then if you do open up the doors, you can get a little bit of the green showing through. Let's see. The batteries are for the lights are actually inside the trunk. I've got one up top there and one right down there in the middle. 4 on each side, and then 2 up front. Very bright, very good, and everything looks and functions very, very well. And it's nice and simple to turn everything off and on through just the trunk. Since the trunk did open, I have one battery pack here and another one right down here off to the side. I can still close up everything just fine. Now, like I said earlier, the spoiler portion actually came off of this car, but since the width on this one is a little bit wider, it did split in half on me, and I did have to stretch it out just a smidge, so eventually this is all going to be sanded down smooth and repainted to make it look more like it did originally on this car, or the original. So eventually that will all be said and done. Now, this one, like I said earlier, does have a parting piece, and that came standard with the original Razstar RC function. If you turn the switch on, it does make the noise, and then as you can see, it's got the turn signals that are yellow, and the reverse lights that I added, these were actually up here in the tail lights. You'll see that on the original car in just a minute. But the tail lights were actually there. These were actually here. So when you would go backwards and reverse on the controller, the tail lights would come on. That's not accurate to the 70s Charger or even the 69 Charger. The reverse lights were in the bottom portion of the bumper, just like, or underneath the bumper, just like that. So now that actually works the way they're supposed to, and so does that. And you can obviously hear the sound. And then, if you so choose. So everything on this does work, and it's actually still relatively fast, even though I did add a bunch of extra stuff to it. It is still a relatively fast RC car. The motor on it is still strong and everything else. I didn't add a whole bunch of stuff to it, to be honest. I really just added the grill guard, some extra wires, 40 spikes on each, 40 spikes in total, and this. And then obviously all the jumbled mess of wires underneath everything for the tail lights and the headlights. Otherwise, that's really about it that I added all to it. Everything else is basically just stock, with the exception of the color scheme and the windows. And obviously the spikes alongside the fenders. So, yes, it is not done. I will admit it is not 100% done, but just looking at these two side by side with each other, it's kind of hard to believe that this is supposed to look like this. Because this was fine when I first did it, but then seeing this, it just looks so much better. And it's the sad part is this isn't even finished. Like, it's not done, because it's missing the decals on the hood and all the black splotches and everything else to represent burns and bullet holes and welds and hose that I need to figure out how to add from here into in here. Freaking potentially even an LED light up feature for the shaker. I may just leave that orange or paint them red, one of the two. But it's like, this looks fine. Like, this is fine. This is serviceable. This is okay. But this is better. Hands down, this is better. And it's kind of funny to me because, you know, it's supposed to be the same car. It's supposed to be the same, you know, goofy concept idea that I did in a video game, and then was probably my most popular car that I built in Forza Horizon games, and I use that every time I play those games. So it's kind of funny to me that this is supposed to look like this, but this looks better than this, and eventually it's supposed to look exactly the same. So I find it funny But at the same time, it's just there's no denying that this is just vastly superior to this. Because while yes, this looks fine, like we established earlier, it's showing signs of its age. I did this several years ago, and you can tell. It's not horrible, but since this one is a much higher end RC car, or a little bit more higher end than what this was like a cheap, maybe $25 car. This one, I believe I paid like $60 for it, which is not so too much, but comparatively, this one is fancier or higher quality or whatever you want to call it compared to this one. Both of which are still good in their own rights, though. Don't get me wrong on that. If you have something like this, it's perfectly fine and serviceable. But if you wanted something that felt a little bit more, I don't know, displayable, or something like you could just get it as a display piece, you know, you can pop the hood open, you can open up the doors, you can open up the trunk, everything else, and have everything on full display. Or you can have it as a badass RC car that actually tears ass down a hallway or, you know, road or whatever you want to put it on. This will do that. So, but honestly though, between the two, I really do like this one better so far, and which is why, like I said, I am going to retire this one. So real quickly, let's go ahead and bring out the other car. And like I said, come on. I'm trying to get the stupid hood to open. Come on, you piece of crap. There we are. And there's that, and there's that. Alright. So, like I said, these two are identical. The only differences between the two is one has the shaker and no hood, versus this one had no shaker but a solid hood. And this one did actually come with a hood. I just don't have it on the car, just because the original design for the Mad Max car did not have was not supposed to have a hood, so it just has a simple decal over the hood. But since I'm able to actually remove the hood in this version, I did it that way. So, but anyway, like I said, these two are virtually identical. The only differences between the two, like I said, are those two pieces. This one actually did start off orange, which is why that this piece right here is not painted, versus this one on here was. And then this was originally black, but then I spray painted it orange to try to match it as best as I could. This one is a little bit lighter than this one, only because I couldn't find the same color that I used for this one, which is fine. That just means that this one looks a little bit more sun-baked, which would add to the Mad Max feel. So yeah, otherwise these two are almost identical, and I cannot wait to finish this one to see what it looks like. So once I add all the decals and stuff to this, and then just do the, I guess you could say, Mad Max bullet hole treatment and everything else to this one, I think it'll look really, really well done, and also look vastly superior compared to the original. So let me know what you guys think of these things down in the comments down below. If you guys want to do something like this yourself, it's super easy to do. You just have to have a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, and obviously have to know how to take these things apart and put them back together. Very straightforward. There's like 8 screws on the bottom, 4 on each side. You undo those, this part comes off, and then there's a whole other series of screws on the other side of this that holds the interior portion together. You undo all those, and then the thing just simply comes off. The doors also do slide off if you do want them to. That's how I was able to paint these originally. So they are able to come off and go back on relatively simple. So, but anyway, let me know what you guys think of this project down in the comments below. Do you guys like this concept? Do you hate this concept? Should I have even done this video? So, like I said, original, improvement. So, let me know what you guys think of this in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys all next time. Bye.